Have you ever walked on fire? Bonjour, I am Rachel Leduc, Ambassador for Women's Potential, and today I would like to share with you the night that I have walked on fire. Yep, I sure did, and no, it was not with Anthony Robbins, it was not 10 feet of fire, it was actually 30 feet of fire, so we're talking 10 meters, and I sure did. However, I must admit that when I was told, because I was at a training thing, and we needed to overcome our fears and be the best that we can be. And when in the afternoon they said that tonight we were going to walk on fire, I must admit that I just started to panic. It was total panic. I had an anxiety attack. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't talk. I was shaking, crying. I felt like throwing up. It was awful. I was so scared, and everybody was looking at me like, what is the matter with her? Usually she's fearless. She's always the first one to do everything, and she's going on and on. And now I was like paralyzed. I could not move. And like no sound was coming out of my voice, of my mouth. Believe it, yes, it's surprising, but I'm telling you, that's how scared I was. I could not say one word. And I said, oh my God, I have to overcome this fear. How am I going to do that? That's what I was saying in my head. And because I really wanted to succeed at this training, and I always wanted to be the best that I can be. So the first thing that I did to overcome that fear, I realized that I needed to be aware of what was going on. I needed to know what it was that was scaring me so much. What is it that I was afraid of? And I realized that I was afraid of burning. I was afraid of being like a rotisserie chicken. That's how I felt. That is what I was afraid of. And then once I was aware of what I was afraid of, I said to myself, what does it bring me back to? And it was bringing me back to when I was 9 years old and I was burned. Because when I was 9, I was caught on fire, and I have scars on my body because I'm burned to the 3rd degree. So this was bringing me back to that. So the second thing I did is identify what it was doing to me, what memory it was bringing back. And then the third thing, I said, what is the story that I'm saying in my head? What is the little gremlin telling me? So the little gremlin was telling me, Rach, if you walk on that fire, you're going to be burned again. This time you might die, and you're not going to be saved, or you're going to be burned up to the 3rd degree, even in your face. So the gremlin was saying all kinds of little bad things for me. So once I had these 3 things, once I realized these 3 things, I was able to calm down. Because I knew it was just my fear that was talking. It was not reality. And once I realized that, I was okay. I took my courage, and yes, I did it. I walked on 30 feet of fire. When I was done, I remember we were not supposed to talk. It was all in silence. And when I was done, I walked the 30 feet, and when I got out again, I just jumped and I said, I did it! And everybody started to laugh because I was so happy, and everybody knew I was scared, but I was so proud of myself. There's no word to describe how I felt at that moment. It was like overwhelming. I thought I was fearless, and there was anything that could come my way that I could not overcome. So the 3 things that I did to overcome that fear was to have some awareness, to identify where it was bringing me back to, and what was my story that was relating to that fear. Once I did that, it was easy. Well, not easy, but it was feasible, let's say. So on that, I'd like to invite you to a webinar that I will be doing next week. Well, actually, next Monday. It will be about my 12 tips to overcome your fears. I shared 3 with you today, and I will be sharing more on that webinar. It's 1 hour. You could be on the phone. You could also be via the internet on the web. It's okay. It's free. And I will, open my heart to you and tell you what works for me. So I'm sure you're going to be able to learn a few tips and tricks. On that, what did I want to say? Oh, yeah. There's a little section about the comments below. Please write to me. What fears did you overcome? How proud were you when you did it? I always love to read about the inspiring story. That is what keeps me going, and that is what motivates me to keep on doing what I do for women. I'm Rachel Leduc, Ambassador for Women's Potential, and reminding you to live your life at your full potential. And we will talk to you real soon. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.